Okay, I'm overwhelmed. As many of you know, I recently conducted a deep dive on Umar Johnson's doctoral dissertation, which spanned 4 videos. And of course, I found all sorts of problems, many of which would have compelled any reasonable graduate committee to fail him during his defense. No sooner had I finished when I learned of Ian Roberts' arrest and phony credentials, so I started publishing videos on it. But then the world discovered that the president of the University of Maryland East Shore, Heidi Anderson, had plagiarized her doctoral dissertation. So I decided, well, let's do a video on that. But while researching it, I came across news that the president of the University of Maryland's main campus, Darryl Pines, had plagiarized a research article from an Australian graduate student. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out which of these stories to cover. But then, DeKalb County School Superintendent Devin Horton gets indicted on federal criminal charges, and it looks like his academic background is suspicious. So, okay, I guess I can train my thoughts on him. But then fake PhD investigator found a copy of the book that Ian Roberts co-authored with Nicole Price, the thought leader at Lively Paradox, whose thoughts seem to mostly revolve around ways that she can use Ian's position as superintendent to score contracts for her company. Their book is devoid of anything resembling intellectual scholarship, raising doubts about her credentials. I think their book is even worse than Rashad Ritchie's laughably pseudoscientific book on quantum theory that had no physics in it whatsoever. And yes, I've covered Rashad's book as well. So what's going on here? Well, I think I know. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dredd to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dredd Show.
So we've had a slew of phony credentials and plagiarized works making the rounds, and most of them seem to emanate from those who lead the charge in DEI. And by the way, Rashad Ritchie here is one of the worst at this, which is why I have dozens of videos covering his academic fraud. Before I begin, I want to dispel the notion that this is about race. This is about mindset. Millions of people of color fill out their resumes honestly. Millions are hired who absolutely deserve the job. But you can never trust race hustlers like Nicole Price, Ian Roberts, Heidi Anderson, Darryl Pines, and Rashad Ritchie because they feel no obligation to be truthful. Oh, I should also mention Dallas Independent School Board member and race hustler Joyce Foreman, who calls herself doctor but doesn't have a real doctorate. I don't find this fakery surprising given that the race hustler's mindset is driven by certain character flaws. One, black supremacism, which drives them to compile academic honors to match their non-POC counterparts. It's hard to be a black supremacist when the other dude has more academic credentials than you, so you fabricate them. Number 2, their insatiable need to be admired, respected, and complimented. I've gone over these 2 traits in past videos, but today I want to talk about a third motive, their belief that dishonesty is just what you have to do to overcome a racist system. Now, this motive is a bit more abstract than the other 2, so let me use an analogy involving slavery, since race hustlers are obsessed with that institution. Suppose that a plantation owner in 1850 was shackling his slaves, but a slave was able to trick him into thinking he was shackled when he actually wasn't, and was therefore able to escape. Now, no reasonable person would hold that trickery against the slave. We'd all do the same thing, right? If the slave was caught, none of us, I hope, would feel that the slave should be ashamed for what he did. If the slave was punished, we would say that the plantation owner doesn't understand that you cannot hold the desire to be free against the slave. You shouldn't rely on slaves in the first place. The fact that the slave felt he needed to resort to trickery is all on you, the plantation owner. You forced this on him. Do you see where I'm going? In the eyes of race hustlers, such requirements as work experience, advanced degrees, and meritorious awards are like shackles placed on them by the system, the plantation owner. These are shackles because non-POCs generally have fewer of these shiny resume items owing to poverty, social stratification, and so on. Much like a slave outwitting his master, fake degrees, awards, and work experiences are necessary tools for outwitting systemic racism. Don't believe me? Let's read the section on meritocracy from Nicole Price's and Ian Roberts' book. They make it clear that meritocracy is a pure myth and therefore cannot serve as a model for societal advancement. Scrolling down, it says,
However, education is not afforded to all people equally. Furthermore, meritocracy has many disadvantages. Meritocracy, in most cases, is...
Now remember, this is a list of meritocracy's disadvantages.
Based on the principle of rewarding a person's effort.
Yeah, that's a disadvantage of meritocracy. It rewards people for their effort. Oh man, that's terrible. Rewarding people for their efforts? How did we let that claptrap infiltrate our educational system? So in their mind, you shouldn't promote people based on their accomplishments and potential. Therefore, these items on your resume serve no real purpose other than to discriminate against you, so you can't be faulted for lying about them. And yes, if you read the actual section in their book, you'll note massive problems with writing conventions. So I did a little Adobe Illustrated on this section to convey the true depth of its intellectualism. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that it appears to be the work of a 10th grader, not of two people claiming to hold doctorates. So lying on your resume is just you conning the evil meritocracy system at its own game. And that is why race hustlers have no problem lying on their resumes, and zero shame when they're caught.
The plantation owner caught us trying to trick him into thinking we were shackled. So what?
And of course, if you're wondering which government model abhors meritocracy, it's communism. Pol Pot would absolutely eat this up. I will do my best to plow through all these news stories, but I'm sure that yet another one will surface within the next few days, and hell, I just got word that Devin Horton has resigned. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.